Hello everyone, and today we are going to talk about 1-2 order of operations. That will be found on pages 10 through 15. Let's get started. So, the first objective is to evaluate numerical expressions. Okay? And the key idea here is that the word evaluate means to find its value. Alright, so you're going to get numerical answers for these even when we have algebraic expressions. So let's get into it. And this, I'm sorry. Part of that first evaluating numerical expressions is the order of operations idea. I know we always remember PEMDAS and that's okay. All right, but you really need to understand that this is a hierarchy, okay, and that the grouping symbols, anything with a grouping symbol comes first. Powers are above any kind of multiplication or division, and then addition, subtraction are last. Realizing that these can happen usually from left to right, but they can happen at the same time. Multiplication and division can happen in the same step, and addition, subtraction can happen in the same step. So it is a hierarchy. The grouping symbols, which you guys usually call parentheses, exponents, so powers, multiplying, divide, and then the last thing you do will be adding and subtracting. So let's take a look. All right. So the example one, the first one is just exponents, reviewing how they work. Okay, and our first problem might be something like, what is 4 to the third? How do I figure out what 4 to the third is? What does it mean? Well, it means, just like multiplication is a shortcut for addition, powers or exponents are a shortcut for multiplication. So this is really 4 multiplied by itself 3 times, which looks like that. And 4 times 4 times 4 is 64. So 4 times 4 is 16, and 16 times 4 is 64. All right. On your calculator, that can be a caret button, like a little arrow pointing up. And some buttons have special numbers for squared and cubed, but you usually have to use the caret button for anything bigger than the third or cubed power. All right. If we have any questions about how to use a calculator to evaluate an exponent, we can go over it tomorrow in class. All right. Let's get to the real stuff. So order of operations. Okay. A very straightforward order of operations problem. We have something that might look like this: 48 divided by 2 cubed times 3 plus 5. All right. The first thing we're going to look at is there are no grouping symbols, so we're looking for anything with an exponent, any power, and that's 2 cubed, and I'm going to evaluate that, which is 8. Notice I brought it right down. Now I have 48 divided by 8 times 3 plus 5. Left to right, I'm going to do the 48 divided by 8 first. I could do 8 times 3 first if you wanted to, but I'm going to do 48 divided by 8. And that gives me 6. And I have 6 times 3 plus 5. Have to do the multiplication first, which is 18. And 18 plus 5 is 23. Okay? So I went through in order of operations to solve that, to evaluate that expression. All right? Exponents, multiplication, addition, and I got my final answer. A couple of things I want you to notice when you're working these problems. Is that as you work order of operation problems, as you evaluate expressions, you should kind of see, if you stay organized, that your problem gets skinnier every time. We almost have like an upside down triangle here. All right. So organized students that are very successful, don't make any mistakes on these problems. Work from the top down, and your problem gets smaller and skinnier every single step of the way. So you're making a triangle here. All right. Firm believer in that. To solve these problems accurately every time, organization is the key. All right. Now we're going to throw in some grouping symbols. Okay. And your book gives us 2 study tips for grouping symbols. All right. And it's used to clarify or change the order of operations. So these take precedence over any exponents, multiplication, division, or addition, subtraction. And then the other study tip, this is commonly known, the other study tip has to do with fractions. A fraction is considered a grouping symbol. All right, so you want to evaluate everything in the numerator and everything in the denominator before you actually do that division in a fraction. Okay, so do all of the order of operations in the numerator, do all the order of operations in the denominator. You can do them at the same time, but the last thing you do is the division. So let's take a look at 2 of them. Here's the first one. So here's a grouping symbol, a bracket and parentheses. You're going to do this one first. All right, and 6 minus 2 is 4. So I have 12 divided by 4 squared. I'm going to multiply all that by 4 last. So I'm going to do this division because it's inside grouping symbols. And then I'm going to square 3. And then I'm going to finally make that last multiplication. 4 times 9 is 36. All right? Let's look at the second problem. Now we have one of these fraction problems, okay? So we're going to take care of, in order of operations, I'm going to kind of do this at the same time. I'm going to do 2 to the 5th right now and 3 to the 3rd right now in the next step, all right? 2 to the 5th is 32 and 3 to the 3rd is 27. Now I'm going to take care of each of these multiplications at the same time. So I'm going to do 6 times 2 is 12 and 5 times 3 is 15, sorry. So 32 minus 12 is my numerator, so I took care of that. And then I took care of the 5 times 3 and got that. 32 minus 12 is 20. Okay? And then I actually, in my head, did 15 minus 2 is 17. And then 27 minus 17 is 10. So I did that. I did all the addition and subtraction. Doesn't matter the order you do these as long as you take care of the signs. And then 20 divided by 10 is 2. All right, so maybe a new little thing for you in the fractions, taking care of the numerators and the denominators and not dividing till the very end. Extremely important that you understand that. All right, now we're going to evaluate an algebraic expression, remembering that we're going to find a value or a number. All right, and to do that, anytime you see the word evaluate with an algebraic expression, they're going to give you the values for x and y or a and b or whatever letters that are in the problem. Okay, so you're going to replace the variables with their values. They will tell you the values, you will know them, you substitute them in or replace. All right, and then it's just an order of operations problem after that. Okay, so let's take a look. Here's the problem. Evaluate 2 times x squared minus y plus z squared. And we know that x is 4, y is 3, and z is 2. So I'm going to take these numbers and I'm going to substitute them into this problem or replace them. So 4 is going to go there, the 3 is going to go where the y is, and the 2 is going to go where the z is, and it should look like that. Take a look again. 4 where the x, 3 with the y, 2 with the z. And now I'm order of operations. I'm going to take care of the parentheses first. There is an exponent inside the parentheses, so I'm going to do that first. I'm going to make this subtraction, which is 13. 2, and if I just keep the grouping symbols, that implies multiplication. So 2 times 13 is 26. And then 26 plus 4 is 30. Okay? So I hope this video helps you. Be sure to summarize it. Tell me about what we just learned in these 4 examples, and then ask me a question at the end. And I will see you guys tomorrow. If you like what you see, please click to subscribe. And if you have any questions, place them in the comments below. I will see you guys tomorrow.